Live from WFSB, Connecticut's #1 local news, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 7.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Eyewitness News. I'm Eric Parker. We start with the latest on the coronavirus in Connecticut. Let's take a look at the numbers first. There are now an additional 271 confirmed cases. 23 more people have died in our state. There are 36 fewer people currently being treated at the hospital. That continues to be good news in all this. And the number of tests conducted, that's good news too. It's up by more than 5,700. Many people are filing for unemployment in Connecticut. The state says it will have to borrow that funds for next month because there's so many people filing. The Department of Labor has received nearly 570,000 applications since the pandemic began. The state has paid out nearly $2 billion in benefits. Experts say the Department of Labor's trust fund for benefits will need to be refilled in July. Thankfully, the recurring claims have dropped off since the state began its partial reopening last week. Today, the Beardsley Zoo will be unveiling all the new safety measures that visitors can expect once the park reopens to the public. That'll happen on Monday. There's some video of the animals there from a couple years ago. The zoo will open at 50% capacity in 2 daily sessions, and visitors will only be able to walk one way in certain parts of the zoo. Members are invited to come back and see the animals starting this weekend. 3 athletes say transgender students robbed them of chances to win at track meets, and now the U.S. Department of Education is saying it agrees. It says the state's transgender policy violates Title IX. The defendants in the lawsuit include the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference, the CIAC, along with 6 public high schools. They must now develop a policy that is in compliance with Title IX, but the Alliance Defending Freedom says it hasn't seen the changes yet. Repercussions could include pausing federal funding. Happening today, a veteran firefighter from Manchester charged with sexually assaulting 4 women is expected in court for the first time. Police say 47-year-old Angelo Aliano Jr. committed the crimes from 2001 to 2008 in Manchester and Vernon. He was arrested Wednesday for a domestic violence incident, which is unrelated to the sexual assault cold cases, but police say they found similarities, and when they tested his DNA, they say it was a match. A UConn student suspected of killing 2 people and then fleeing the state is expected back in Connecticut next month. Police captured 23-year-old Peter Manfredonia on Wednesday night in Maryland. He faced a judge in Maryland yesterday and waived extradition. Manfredonia had been on the run since last Friday when police say he killed a man in Willington and is charged with killing an acquaintance and kidnapping that man's girlfriend in Derby. Manfredonia will be brought back to our state within the next week or 2. While many of us are stuck at home this weekend, thousands of gamblers will be allowed to hit the casino floor at Mohegan Sun. Tribal leaders there are moving up their reopening plan and inviting about 4,000 VIP players to return to the casino on Saturday. But the governor thinks the plan is a bad gamble. Channel 3's Roger Suzanin has more.
June 1st was going to be a key date in Connecticut. That's the day salons and barbershops will be allowed to reopen, and Connecticut's casinos were also planning to open up again. But Mohegan Sun officials have shuffled up that initial proposal, and now gamblers can return to Uncasville in a little more than 24 hours. We've heard from multiple sources that an invitation to roughly 4,000 VIP players was sent out. It's being classified as a soft reopening. Mohegan Sun didn't get into specifics on the number of invites, but they did confirm only players in Connecticut and Rhode Island were invited, writing, "This private event, with very restricted numbers for invited guests, will allow us to practice our new protocols prior to our reopening to the general public on June 1. The Sun has spent about $1 million on safety upgrades, including an unknown number of plexiglass shields on the gaming floor. But multiple casino employees contacted us to express concerns about safety, and the governor agrees. He was dead set against the June 1st reopening, and at a meeting scheduled for later today, he plans to ask Mohegan Sun to wait."
Look, the casinos closed down voluntarily a couple of months ago. They knew it was risky, and it made a big difference. Eastern Connecticut has one of the lowest infection rates, not just in the state, in the entire region.
Roger Suzanin, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, it's certainly a warm and muggy start to this Friday across Connecticut. In the last several hours, we've been tracking some downpours moving across the state. Those have come to an end. As we check out early warning pinpoint doppler, just some spotty drizzle out there in some spots, some sprinkles. But otherwise, we also have some fog visibility down to less than a quarter of a mile at a point this morning, around a quarter of a mile now from Waterbury and Groton, around a half mile from Chester, mile and a half from Meriden. So conditions will improve as the morning progresses. Something we're all having to deal with this morning are very warm temperatures, well above the average low by, say, 15 or more degrees. We're in the mid and upper 60s currently inland and between 60 and 65 along the shoreline. So this really warm and muggy air mass is complements of a southerly flow. That wind's still up at around 5 to 15 miles an hour. But it's not going to last too much longer as a cold front brings a refreshing change as we head through the upcoming weekend. So right cam view from Hartford right now showing the overcast conditions there. Similar scene coming in from New Haven with the visibility certainly improving a bit as we look toward the horizon. Things certainly are greening up with this warm weather and all the wetness, and our view from New London showing that we're still socked in there. Southeastern Connecticut with the low clouds and the fog, and checking out the scene live from Middletown. Certainly a damp go over this morning as we look down on the roads there over Middletown. So throughout the region, we've seen some spotty showers overnight. Otherwise, we're going to see a mostly cloudy day today. There's a chance for some intervals of sunshine. That's going to help boost temperatures a little bit warmer than where we saw them peak yesterday. And you can already see some showers and storms off to our west. The main threat for storms today should stay to the west of Connecticut. We've got high pressure offshore supplying us with that southerly, moist, summer-like flow. But westward, we've got that cold front working through the Great Lakes. In advance of that, this afternoon and this evening, thunderstorms do develop to our west. And in fact, the threat is there for some severe storms across New York and Pennsylvania, especially where you see that swath of yellow. We'll be monitoring the situation as those storms likely develop, but then weaken as they'll be arriving after sunset here in Connecticut. So futurecast looking at tomorrow's weather today, we've got the spotty showers this morning, giving way to a mostly cloudy sky, maybe an isolated late day storm across western Connecticut, but most of the activity in advance of that front, you can see even at 11 o'clock tonight, still to the west of Connecticut. As the front moves through our state tomorrow morning, there's the chance for some spotty showers. Then behind the front tomorrow afternoon, drier air begins to filter into the state, and we should see the clouds move out and some afternoon sunshine. So this afternoon, mostly cloudy, upper 70s, low 80s inland, 70 to 75 along the shoreline, and quite humid with dew point values near, if not above 70. Then tomorrow, that afternoon clearing, temperatures will still be warm tomorrow near 80, but then that drier, cooler air filters in on Saturday night. So Sunday, we start off in the mid-50s. Sunday afternoon, low humidity, ample sunshine, and cool, high 70 to 75. By Monday, as we kick off the month of June, we'll see a chance for an afternoon isolated shower with cold air aloft in the daytime heating, with temps only topping out near 70. But a little bit milder by Tuesday with increasing cloud cover and a chance for some late day showers. The next Wednesday looking to be a bit unsettled, showers, perhaps some rumbles of thunder. For shoreline highs this weekend, 78 on Saturday, 75 and trending less humid on Sunday. You're up to date with the very latest early warning 7-day forecast.
All right, we are following some breaking news from overnight. Violence erupts around the country at a number of different protests involving police violence. Dozens of buildings are on fire right now in Minneapolis as crowds are demanding justice after a black man was killed by a white police officer who was then fired. In Denver, shots were fired at a similar rally, and one man was run over by a car. In Louisville, Kentucky, at least 7 people were shot as a crowd protested the police shooting of a black woman. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Eyewitness News. Remember, you can get news and weather updates anytime you want it. Just go to the Channel 3 app. I'm Eric Parker. Have a great day.